We began our journey on a plane ride from the beautiful drug-dealing city of Atlanta to the unexpected destination of San Jose. As soon as we landed, we hopped on a bus and drove through San Jose to our hotel, worrying only slightly about the crazy driving patterns we saw. Once at our hotel, we began our adventure with food. Greek food. Talk about culture whiplash. After lunch, we had toured the unknown by looking at the strange sights of the market and the smells too. Then landed ourselves on TV. Then we went back to the hotel to get all dressed up for dinner. They had a menu for everything. Olivia started her first Costa Rican meal adventurous, and we all became hopeful. Up and early, we awoke to hop on a bus that drove us to breakfast on a scenic hillside. Then we drove down steep gravel paths to the launch site of our first day of whitewater rafting. There we loaded up luggage and food and ate watermelon and pineapple. Then Carlotos began our training for the river, and we were off. Then we reached a pool where we swam and played. Later we climbed up to a beautiful waterfall and swam in that. After we finished playing and we got back on the boats, we went down the river for a little while and arrived at the Pequari Lodge.
So what are your initial impressions? You don't like it?
I love it. It is awesome. Yeah. Like, pretty cool.
This is our bungalow.
Today we got up and headed out for our horseback trip. To get there we had to cross the Pequari River in a metal basket. Carlos pushed us along and then Pedro caught us on the other end. Once across the river we got on some horses and rode 1.5 hours to the town of El Tigre. We went up and down steep paths of rock and mud. When we got to the town, we had lunch with a farmer named Eduardo, then headed back. On the way back, we stopped by a butterfly garden. On the entire trip, Mom had some serious struggles.
Mom's been having a hard time with her horse named Tequila. What? Oh, we weren't.
When we got back to the lodge, we changed into our swimsuits and went swimming in another waterfall. While at the waterfall, Carlos found some mud rocks and painted our face. Today we started our adventure with whitewater rafting. Carlos prepared us for the Class 4 rapids and then we were off. Partways down the river, we stopped at a waterfall and splashed around. Then we got back on the river and met up with some more rafts. The whole gang of rafts pulled over for lunch, and our guides made our lunch right there in front of us. After lunch, we continued our adventure. Once off the river and we got dry, we hopped on a bus and drove to Arenal. Once we got to Arenal, we swam in some hot springs and then had dinner. While eating dinner, we got to see the volcano erupt. It was a cool way to end a nice day. We began the day splashing around the pool, and then we got on a bus that drove us to get on a boat, and then we toured around Lake Arenal.
We're on Lake Arenal. That's the volcano. This is the boat. There's Annie. There's Olivia. There's Luis. Where are you?
Nowhere.
We got off our boat and we've been driving for 45 minutes on dirt roads.
Chunky dirt roads.
It's been fun.
It's been a little scary.
After lunch, we drove to Monte Verde. Shortly after waking up, we headed to the Monte Verde Cloud Forest and began our hiking tour. Seconds into this tour, we saw a troop of spider monkeys. Along the rest of the hike, we saw birds and trees and waterfalls. After our hike, we drove to a zipline canopy tour. And of course, I almost died.
I heard that sigh. I made it across. Now she's frozen right there. Look at the toes.
Then we arrived at Manuel Antonio. Today we spent the entire afternoon just lounging in the pool and relaxing. This morning we headed out on a mangrove tour. We saw some very cute capuchin monkeys and several other animals. One of our guides even picked up a baby crocodile with his own bare hands. Our last full day in Costa Rica, we hiked through the Manuel Antonio National Forest. There we saw some howler monkeys, even one with a baby. Through the rest of our tour, we also saw some very cute animals. Some sloths, and a red-eyed tree frog. He was very camouflaged. Can you see him? We ended our tour at the beach and relaxed there. While chilling at the beach, we were bombarded by capuchin monkeys, iguanas, and even raccoons. After an exhausting yet very exciting trip up Costa Rica, we flew home to Atlanta and then drove to Niceville.